Hello everyone, it's Toni and I'm here with another one of your wedding DIYs. A couple of months ago, Jamie sent me a picture of this beautiful Manzanita tree centerpiece. She wanted to make this for her own wedding and needed help figuring out how. I also got a message from Monica asking if there's a way to recreate these beautiful tree centerpieces inexpensively. You can order these Manzanita branches online, but I found them for between $13 and $24, and you can get them with the base for about $30 each. So I want to show you how you can create your own beautiful tree centerpiece for less than $10. Now, to make this as inexpensively as I could, instead of buying Manzanita branches, I took a trip outside to my backyard with some pruning shears, and I found some branches and I cut something that I thought might work. Now, I think it's very possible to find enough branches for however many tables you might be decorating in your yard, or you might have a friend who has a backyard and you want to find a branch that has a lot of pieces on it, thick and thin pieces. First, I'm going to run my fingers over the branches just to get all the loose pieces off and try to make it a little bit more smooth. And then I'm going to take this back outside to spray paint it silver, and I'm using just a metallic silver spray paint. This is Ace Chrome Aluminum Gloss paint, and it just cost a couple of dollars for the can. And you want to turn it over and make sure you spray paint that on all sides to get a nice coating of silver. And I am going to be matching Jasmine's photo, so I'm painting this silver, but of course you can paint it whatever color you like, or you could keep it natural. So while that's drying, let's prepare the base for this. I'm using a silver platter from Dollar Tree, also a glass bowl, and I'm using some floral foam. I have one that comes 2 in a pack from Dollar Tree. I'm using a glass bowl because it has a little weight. It'll be heavy enough to hold the tree, and I'm going to use E6000 glue to glue the bowl to the small silver platter. So I do need a strong glue for the base. I'm using artificial flowers that I made, so I'm going to use hot glue to glue the floral foam to the inside of the glass bowl. But if you are using fresh flowers, you'd want to use a different glue, like a white Gorilla Glue or something that's waterproof, like a foam spray, so that everything will hold together when you put water in the bowl. I put a link up in the top right corner to show you a video on how to mount this tree for using fresh flowers. But going back to my piece, I'm going to use both floral foams. It comes 2 in a pack, and I'm just going to put hot glue around the outside edges and stack the 2 of them so that I'll have a taller foam. Now, since this is a glass bowl, you might want to put some foil paper around the inside before you do the next step. I'm going to roll up some newsprint and put it around in the inside of the bowl, around the edges, just to keep everything snug and in place. But you could roll up foil paper, which would look nicer through the glass. Okay, so now my painted branch is dry, and I'm going to slowly push it through the center of the foam all the way down to the bottom. And I want to make sure that my tree is standing straight the way I want it. And then I'm going to just pipe in some hot glue around the edges of the tree branch and the whole of the foam. Now, if you're using artificial flowers, you could just stick the flowers into the foam, but I am using flowers that I made from coffee filters. So I'm going to use the styrofoam bowl to make a rounded shape around the base of the tree to glue my flowers to. I'm going to cut a line on one end of the bowl and then cut a circle so that the base of the tree will fit through. And then I'm just going to hot glue the edges of the styrofoam bowl onto the edges of the glass bowl just to keep it in place. In my last two videos I showed you how to make coffee filter flower balls and coffee filter roses. And this is what I'm using for my Manzanita tree centerpiece. Click on the link in the top right to see how I made these roses and the flower balls that I'm using for this project. So I'm just going to bend the tip down and hot glue the roses to the styrofoam. I'm going to start by gluing a row of roses at the bottom down at an angle to cover up the seam between the styrofoam and the glass. I used about 38 roses for the base of the tree. And now I have a nice round bouquet with a tree coming out of the center. Now to make the bouquet look more realistic, I'm going to add a few leaves. In the same coffee filter flower video, I show you how to make leaves by cutting and dyeing coffee filters green. I'm just going to fold this to add some veins to the leaves. Then I'm going to put a little hot glue at the tip. I'm going to push the flowers back a little and insert a few leaves. Now I'm going to figure out where to place my pre-made flower balls on my tree. And again, you can find out how to make these by clicking on the link at the top. So I'm going to use some of the bigger sticks to insert my ball on. And this ball is very light. It's just made of styrofoam and paper. So I put a hole in the styrofoam. And I'm going to put some hot glue on the tip of the stick and hot glue around the hole of the styrofoam. And just slide the ball onto the stick. This is the biggest piece at the top, so just to secure it in place, I'm going to put some hot glue on the stick that's next to it and just tuck it in between the flowers. Now I'm going to put 3 different flower balls on this tree, so I'm finding the right branch and positioning them pretty close to each other but at different heights. Now this last flower ball I actually made with a wire, flexible wire attached to it. So since I don't have a low branch that I could slide this on, I'm actually going to use this wire. I'm going to cut it and then wrap it around one of the branches. And then I'm going to put some hot glue on the wire and use some of the flower petals to hide the wire. So I want to keep all the little branches, but I'm going to trim the tree a little to make it neat and make it look the way I want it. So now it's time to decorate our tree. In Jasmine's photo, the tree was draped with what looks like pearls and little tea roses hanging from the bottom of it. For this, I'm using a set of Dollar Tree silver beaded necklace. I'm going to cut each necklace to open them and make long strands. And I'm going to cut it where they glue the 2 beads together. I'm going to start by hot gluing the end of the strand inside the flower ball and drape it around and insert it into the next flower ball. And then just let the ends hang down. So just go around the tree and drape the beads around the flowers and the branches and just try to have staggering lengths of pearls hanging down from the tree. Now to make the little tea roses that are hanging from the pearls, I'm using coffee filters. I'm going to make some little coffee filter tea roses, something quick. So I'm just going to use the white coffee filter. I'm going to fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Then I'm going to use some tweezers and twist the inside flap of the coffee filter around as I twist the outside around and make a little cone shape. And then I am going to cut that flower in half. Squeeze the bottom and start to fan out some of the flaps on the side to make a little tea rose. Next, I'm going to take a couple of my coffee filter leaves that I made and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to use some hot glue to glue the leaves around the bottom of the rose. And then just hot glue the ends of the flowers to the ends of the pearls. So since this whole tree was pretty much made up of coffee filters, food coloring, and a tree branch, it cost me about $8 to make this. But it could make your wedding or event look like a fortune. Follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Snapchat at Your House of Home and Your House of Home TV for daily home, food, and gardening tips.